what they wanted. Agency just trying to get some positive energy to bring back to the Benelux. Let's see if they can do it. We're on to the Rift here at Game 2.
Alright, what's the vibes going to be this time around? So we're going to see if there's any early action. As yet, both bot lanes starting up with that their longsword, so they are not trying to do anything too crazy. They just want to get fast in their builds. Interesting to note that Gooby has gone for heal and fleet, so maybe he's planning on trading a little bit more in lane than you might expect, but Dragdar has no such intentions.
Given that the recent nerfs to the sustain on the potions, how do you feel about the corrupting potion start from Merwin? Is this still something that, you know, the tanks up top lane can still run, or is it a bit rough now?
No, I think it's still fine. I mean, you're mostly in it for the mana, right? Like, Doran Shield is actually just giving you more in terms of the health and effective health, but if you're Merwin, you know, the only real way you're going to be able to CS is if you can sort of walk up with your W on Q3 minions at once and then walk away, right? So you want to have that option.
Primal passing the vibe check there in the jungle, just trying to keep a nice positive attitude going forward, as he is going to get pushed away by Ascuria. Ascuria ruining the mental right there in that early start. Going to drop a little ward onto the red buff, so they're going to start, or they're going to see that Case is at least around there. They will have that vision cleared out afterwards. 10 gold advantage. Primal now in the mid lane. It's already over.
Oh my god, what an absolute kingdom. 5-10 on the board. As Keith starts up, he's kiting towards the top side, so we'll see what he wants to do. Is he going to do 3 camps? I think more likely it's going to be Red Chickens and Gromp as his clear. But you want to be playing up towards your top side. You have to be playing around Zergoff in this game, because there's not really a lot going on bot, you know, and if we can get those dives up top, we're going to be very happy, especially, of course, once Keys hits level 6. Now, he has gone for the lethal tempo, which is a little bit weaker than PTK for the level 3 gank, but does scale up very nicely, so maybe that implies that he's not that keen for a level 3, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you know, it's comp, so you probably just always want to go ahead and take the one that scales ever so slightly better. As he goes on over towards his Gromp, I believe that top lane was pushing towards Mirren, so probably not going to be seeing that gank coming through anytime soon, as level 2 is hit in the bot lane, and Agency have to stay pretty far back from that one.
Plenty of respect being given. Albi mapping way down to the bot side. We were theorizing, wondering what he was going to do, what his plan was to deal with what Case is bringing, and maybe the gank into mid lane is the answer. At level 3 onto Primal. Flashes for the Spectral Maw stun, followed up by Random with the laser. Shifting Sands to safety, and Azir will escape.
And I also just really like this adaptation by Keys, where he, ordinarily when you see people do the Red Chickens Grump path, they'll then go Blue Wolves farm their bot side. But Keys wants to stay on the top side of the map. He knows there's nothing going on bot. Usually if you do Red Chickens Grump, it's because you want to try top side and then have the option to sort of boomerang back to bot side. But by doing his Wolves, he's there to make sure he gets the top crab, he stays on top side of the map, and he also has his Wolves spawn faster, so he can come back and get them on their next spawn. Now we see that Ascure has turned up in the mid lane, and Krimo has to be a little bit careful, but of course he has Keys still in the area, giving him that little bit of cover.
Really wants to get that wave in, doesn't want to let Random just hold it in front of his tower, but not really another option. Oh, he gets pushed out of the resurrection as well. Oh, the flash in, and the shifting sands back, the trades back and forth. Bison's mid laner, though, has no flash. Case still in the area, can just batter him down with the club. It's first blood for the Agency.
It's a bit keen from Krimo to go for the auto there. He ends up losing his flash, but does a great job of baiting Random, and he knows that the power of his shield from the shifting sands is going to be enough to get him out of that situation alive. And he picks up the kill for his jungler. Now, advantage for Keys, he's gone ahead and grabbed that there top crab, and he's moving out to go clear his bot side, and then he can start to farm back up towards Zergoff once again. This wave on bot will eventually push back, but with Dragdar hitting the wave, he wants to try and get this one crashed.
So trade by Riftley there, but here he is, the masterful bait by Primal, and a very strange little switcheroo there.
Great bait on the what do you call it, on the shield. Didn't need to walk back forward for that. Wasn't that necessary?
I don't know, swings and roundabouts, you know, there was ups and downs to the play, but he'll walk away with the gold.
He just likes to keep us on our toes, as the lane gank now comes through for Keys. He's hanging pretty far back, no wards in these bushes, but he hasn't swept it yet. He will be about to do that as the sweeper now comes off cooldown, or is he just going to back off, making sure that that wave can get crashed without any punish from Albi. But Albi over on the opposite side of the map. Thing is, that did cost a lot of time for Keys, and he did that instead of... Oh my days, He did that instead of going through for his Krugs, but he's very Primal, and his level 1 Krugs, they have the XP deficit as well. Those are probably just going to be picked up by Dragdar at some point, because again, he wants to be over on the top side of the map if he can. Speaking of which, Albi is up there, ganking on into the mid lane against the flashless Azir.
He doesn't have the ult yet either, still level 5, so has to be respectful right now. A little bit more respectful than he was with that auto attack before. Sees the Harrowed Path coming through, is going to step away from the Spectrum Wall without too much trouble. As we see in top lane, we saw the trading Zergoth just dashing into Merwin and having to pop that Steadfast Presence, as you said, and it's a nice CS lead for the Croc so far.
Yeah, he's doing what the Croc do as he makes his way up towards that blade. Keys now, ganking on in flashless mid again.
Oh, once again, down goes the Gravity Field, but they've got range for Crimal. They don't have the damage to finish off, but the pressure on this mid lane is high.
Yeah, it's a very nice Gravity Well there for Random to get him out alive. But the wave not really in the state he wants it to be, and he's forced to recall. He's got to go get a health mana back, and you don't like recalling early on Victor, because now he's forced. He hasn't even got his last chapter. He's got to walk all the way back to lane again. This is not a great spot to be in, you know, as that Victor in the mid lane.
Not the best start
meanwhile,
for
in
the
top
Bisons.
lane,
Looking for a little bit of a dive there. Merwin is so low. He's already dropped the ultimate, but didn't find it onto Zergoth.
No, he did find it. He drops it onto the wave and stopped the dive.
Oh, shoot. Big brain from Merwin there, and he gets out alive.
Because Zergoth had the ult going, and he had the flash available as well, so I think that might have been an intentional ult the wave situation.
Merwin gets himself out of there. He's going to lose some tower plates for their case still on the top side as well, but Albi is right onto the bot side. The Mountain Dragon picked up for the Bisons.
Go ahead and secure that one whilst Keys is recalled, but you're just seeing the jungle items right now. Keys very much having an advantage in that situation. If he wants to push on into the enemy jungle, maybe try and contest that red buff with the help of Crimal, he'll be having a very good time. Meanwhile, Crimal getting that wave pushed up on mid, probably just wants to take a recall of his own at some point. Random forced into a very bad B. Earlier on, Crimal must be sitting on a fair amount of gold. However, it looks like the laser has been finished. The Aftershock upgrade coming out for Random, so that will give him a little bit of extra space in the lane.
What we wanted to see from the agency is strong laning performances. That's how they like to get their leads. And, you know, with a bit of assistance in the mid lane for Crimal, they've got top, mid, and bot in a pretty nice position. Oscar's going to clear that ward out on the top side, but Crimal, he's not given up the easy deaths of before, where he just walks back into a Victor laser or gets caught in, you know, just being way too far up overextended. There's still plenty of time left on this game, but it's looking like a cleaner Crimal at least.
Absolutely. Straight cap from me. Random nowhere near having that laser upgrade, but I thought I saw that the icon was a little bit different when we had the portrait on him. Obscure now trying to think about a gank here, but he's only level 4, and Richley is lurking in the wings.
Oh, they've got onto there. Look at the jaws closing onto the Azir. Albi goes into the full heart race onto Rickley as well. He doesn't have the unstoppable will, but it's just the one kill for the Bisons.
There's a world where Albi's very dead there. If Rickley drops that knock-up just, you know, half a second later and lands with a knock-up, he can just flash over Pulverize. You know, Albi just used his flash to get into that fight. There's a world where he just straight up sent flying under the turret. Instead, though, 3 members will make their way down towards that bottom lane. You can see Keys coming to defend it, and Obscure, I don't think it's that close. Yeah, he's only halfway to level 6, so not too much threat of a dive there. Dragdar will be able to safely pick up this wave under his turret with the help of Keys. But again, Keys is making a lot happen on the map, not doing so hot in the farm department, and still hasn't been able to find the plays up on top lane that he wants. And yes, Zergoth has a 20 CS lead, but you want to convert that into something of mention.
It wouldn't be the first time we've seen a Renekton have a 20-30 CS lead and then lose the game, because the rest of the map is just in the bin, you know, it's having a bit of trouble for there. So Zergoth's doing at least well for himself, as you say, but yeah, let's see if Keys can maybe have some more impact there. Looks like it's just going to head up onto the Herald, does have Crimal there to assist, and Albi not in the area, should be an easy pickup.
Yeah, nice and simple one. You saw Keys smite the minion on his way through just to get that one upgraded in time, so he can have that full 900 damage coming out for the Secure here. But it should be a very uncontested Baron or Rift Herald, as yep, Richley takes a little bit damage from the skill, doesn't matter too much. Dragdar also taking a bit of damage, gotta be careful going for those trades, but fires it back. I think we took a turret hit there as well, just gets a half health, but now Albi is ready for this dive. Criminal does have teleport, but the play might be over before he can use it.
And they're heading down to, there's the TP from the Azir, and BSO instantly step away, not willing to overcommit for that one.
Perfect. Now, very bang on.
Oh, there's the pillar into the subjugate, and they've still got the Dominus chopping away. No mana left for Merwin, and that's an easy 2v1. They've got the Herald in the pocket as well.
Excellent. That's what they needed to do. Once the subjugate comes available for keys, you go for that dive. And it's so difficult for Merwin in this situation, because when you have the pillar and you have the stun, he never really has time to charge up the ult. So you can see he only manages to get a tap ult onto Zergoth. And now that top turret is going to go down. Those plates will be handed on over to Zergoth and Keys. First brick as well. Look at that. 820 gold split between the two of them. And you see Mirren has to teleport back to that tier 2. Not going very far with that one at all.
Charge comes through, is countered by the Poppy, so not going to get the full charge off. And we saw in the bot lane Dragdar and Rixley stepping away from the turret, not trusting to get away from the dive 2 times in a row, but they won't lose the turret, just the plates onto Gooby. Funneling a lot of gold into this Aphelios, as they like to do. Gooby has been a pretty reliable carry for the Bisons, and Zergot on the top side has to be the answer for Agency.
Well, we've got the Drake coming up in 45 seconds, and Zergoth has just been freed up with that top turret being opened up. He could move on down towards the objective if he wanted to. We also have the Sunderer finished as well, as Gooby forced a flash there by Richley, who still isn't level 6. So Gooby feels confident walking up a little bit as the 6 has now been hit, but Askew turns up alongside now. Drake going to be the play 30 seconds. We have to always be a bit worried that Merwin is in danger of getting solo boloed, and having used his teleport to get back to defeat that Herald in time, Zergoth is going to have a TP advantage when it comes to joining this Drake fight if he wants to. He'll have to TP a bit far away, going to one of those outer towers. He still could join if absolutely necessary.
Gooby will be flashless for that upcoming fight. If they can get on top of him, the Renekton is going to absolutely dice up the Aphelios with no flash at this point in the game. But currently looks happy to just keep that push going. Maybe he might even give us the double just for the fans as they now move into the river. The Agency taking control using their lead. Still about 1,000 gold in their favor. If they can stop the stacking for Bisons, that's pretty nice. K starts it up.
Yeah, go on ahead to that Drake, get a good go on it, and honestly there's not really a lot you can do to contest. That is a Sunderer Trundle, no item being finished up by anyone else over on the Bison side. Wave pushed in under turret. Gooby wants to catch all of those, and so yeah, we'll just hand that one over nice and easy, one apiece. We'll see which solo ends up being as Zergot makes his way through into the mid lane, and it is a Cloud Drake. Very nice for the Sivir Trundle comp. Is looking for the shuffle.
Oh, they forced the flash. Zergot, I guess, probably could have held it. You've got to assume the flash is coming through there, so ultimately not too bad for the Bison side.
Yeah, it's a little bit of, I wouldn't even say miscommunication because they probably didn't communicate it, just, missed synergy from AGC there. But yeah, if you hold the flash for half a second or you hold the ult for half a second, and one of you just goes first instead of at the same time, you're probably going to save the other cooldown. But instead, the shuffle and the flash go on cooldown. And now we'll have to wait a little bit before, Promo can try anything on mid again. But, at the same time, Keys is getting a bit of pressure down on bot anyway. He wants to finally take his Krugs, go for his red as well. And then by the time he's over in the mid lane, Promo's going to have that ultimate available once more.
Well, starting the recall there, but Random checks him with the laser, and they're going to step away right there. Gooby has completed the Gale Force as well. You have a lot of Mythics coming online for the Bison side, so there's a little bit of extra potential safety for the Aphelios if a fight breaks out. We see Zergoth still just happily taking the winning trades against Merwin. It's another tank top lane who just needs to do their job, play their role as the team fights break out.
Yeah, doesn't really have to do all too much in the lane, just needs to hit a couple of good hammers every so often as Random tries to get the chickens, but most of them end up resetting. And now Chromel doesn't have the shuffle available. I think it's about 20 seconds on that one. They fight anyway.
Albie opts into the fight. Oh my goodness, Crimel's there to stop them down, but there's the reset. Albie, Heartbreakers onto the Trundle. Can he be allowed to escape? Looks like he will. Dragdar, not confident in range. Gooby flies in. He's got the red and white guns as well. The team fight menace. Aphelios flying in from right field, and they'll take a second kill on the fight.
Oh, it's just a little bit keen to go for the fight just before Dragdar gets there, and we'll see now Cromwell has the ultimate available, so there is a heavy punish for the use of both the flash and the ult there in the earlier gank on mid. There's 2 kills easily picked up by Bisons there, everyone getting out just so low, but again, Rishi's, Dragdar just not there in time. We'll see how this one goes once again. Ultimately, right now, it's a 2v3. Yes, we can look for a bit of poke, but he's got so far up. Yeah, he gets a pillar down onto Random, but no one's actually in position to be able to follow up on that one. Richley is so far away that it's just not really the optimal pillar. It's trying to make a pick when really they want to be splitting up the fight. And then eventually, Dragdar turns up, but so does Gooby with a very nice... Oh, everyone's so low, and you'll see Cream, well, he only had about 5 or 10 seconds left on that. Oh, but the fight was over before he could use it.
Yeah, and Albie getting away so low. The last stolen soul, the last passive proc, healing him up to get away from the ricochets from Dragdar. Very close run thing for the Bisons, but it has gotten the goal decidedly back in their favor. They were about almost 1,000 gold down coming into this one. Now they're about 1,000 gold ahead, and this is a turning point for them at the 15-minute mark. Agency with a strong early. They just need to not completely lose the plot now after one fight goes wrong.
Just gotta hold it together, lads. I know it's difficult for any League player to do, but that's the challenge of EU Masters. This is why the top teams come together. Yeah. Who can hold it together for the longest?
It's just the EU Masters, yeah.
The Zeals.
Exactly. Start absolutely running for it, as we do have the Herald to spawn door. There are a lot of members of the agency around to contest this one, and the Azir ult is now prepared as both the top laners are happy just battling out on the bot side matched up again.
Happy's a strong term for Mirren down there.
Zergot's maybe happy, but Merwin's
okay.
Probably.
See, Zergot does have his teleport available as well. He's even gone ahead and grabbed himself the CDR boots. Really confident for his cycling powers there. He might be looking to TP up to this top side, but it's so easy for the fight to be over because Azir can just disengage him and dash out that he has to be really confident that the fight will last if he teleports in. Don't want to commit that cooldown for nothing.
Hey, still getting aggressive. They've got Dragdar now available with On the Hunt, and Gooby is still up in the top lane. Agency not really able to find any aggressive positions there in the Herald. Pulls out, resets, still nothing really taken. They're just moving back and forth from the mid lane. Agency deciding how they want to play this out.
Is the Herald
so many things.
Cornwall has a shuffle.
They look for Albie, but they don't pull it out. It's a disengage in the end, and Oscar comes in with the knockup. Gooby on his way down the river. Can they do enough damage? Can the agency win this fight before Gooby turns it around? Zergot with the TP zones away the Aphelios, but no one even dies.
And Zergot commits the TP when he's so close. Wants to try and get the flank, but at the end of the day, you know, mid, not just for lane that Chromo's playing, but also kind of the ult, you know? It comes out and doesn't really get a lot going. It doesn't force anyone into a choke, and so whilst it looks like it's going to be a great fight for an untouched Sivir and Azir, that's the one. You see, yeah, he comes up through, he's trying to bait out, you know, the ult from the, I'm bad at champions today, the Ruined King, Viego, that's the one. Yeah. Doesn't really get it done. The ult then pushes people away, and it's like, okay, cool, we have this untouched Sivir and Azir, but everyone can sort of just walk out of it. And Zergoff ends up committing his teleport as well. But it looks like they will go ahead and restart up the Herald, but the exchange is going to be that their Clown Drake picked up by Bison.
See, they're finally, after that fight going on so long, the agency do at least get what they came there for in the Herald, but that dragon stacking is going to start for the Bisons. Bit of slow resistance, bit of out-combat movement speed for the Spanish roster, and the fact that they are now continually just kind of stable right here. All of the kills are on Albie, it must be said, and we can see that Zergot is pretty scary in the fights. You know, when he TP's in, they do have to run away from him, but I guess how much longer is that going to last? How long is it going to be before Gooby can actually just stand his ground and fight out?
Well, it's going to take a quick while, but we have a lot of time to reach that point because the teleport obviously was committed. Now, Mirren has that TP advantage. The good news for Zergot is he's massive, and he probably has that Chem Tank coming up pretty soon as well. Maybe once he picks that one up, his TP flanks become a lot more menacing, and he does have the CDR boots, so the TP is not going to be that long of a cooldown. Although, of course, he is going to be pretty squishy if he then teleports into a 1v5 instead of a 1v1. So keep an eye on how he uses that ability. Again, maybe it's here in just like a zoning TP situation, where it just sort of gets people scared and confused, and they don't really realize that there's such a decent chance they can just tap him when he comes out of it. That does work sometimes, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if it's enough to get you the objective, it still achieves the final goal, even if it doesn't come off the back of a big team fight win. I'm sure Agency would take that one. Any wins would be nice for the 0-3 roster right now. They're just trying to get something going for them at the EU Masters, and Bisons, they've got to get every win. This is a must-win for them if they want any chance of qualifying, and it's been a slower game than we're used to once again. Both games 1 and 2 today. Looks like everybody's playing with a bit of restraint. Now those final group spots are on the line.
Zergoff trying to have a bit of a rumble with Mirren down there. Can't get the blade proc though, so he doesn't have a move speed. You've got to be careful up on the top lane. Both mid lanes are moving up. Random has the inside track.
They're fighting over this tower, and as he comes through, from the Victor, but Albi's already taken the first kill, and the tower's still going to fall. Dragdar has been forced to pop his summoners and run for the hills. Rickley left on his own. It's a team fight win for the Bisons. 2 more for Albi.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we don't really need to fight that one that hard, lads. Like, we see that we're really committed to trying to save that turret, but Criminal's not there. He doesn't have the teleport. Random, again, just happy to commit that one, even though he's relatively close. But because, so much of this fight is the Azir Sivir, and when it's just the Azir, it's not going to go too well, as the Baron is confidently started up. Ragnar, he's going to try to steal it with a Boomerang Blade, maybe, but this one's probably going on over the Bisons.
They're just going to head over to the mid lane Bisons. Now this, surely, is going to be what unlocks the game for them. They can play it with a lot more confidence now. This fight goes decidedly in their favor. They didn't even have the tower done to kick it off.
Yeah, because it's ultimately just sort of a 4v3. It's a pretty strong Viego who managed to get it. And there's no Azir. The whole thing of the comp is, it's the Azir system working together, getting massive damage and using the wall, the shuffle, to go ahead and give yourself control of the terrain. When you don't have that, Dragdar is forced to flash out. People can just run towards him, and you see that Keys just gets pretty popped there. When he ends up, tanking the, I think it was the reset from Albi, taking his ult, the Heartbreaker, Heartstealer, and also the Thunder of Rock as well. He just disappears. Suddenly a reset's hand on over, and the fight goes downhill very quickly. So maybe we do need Zergoff at these fights to be a bit of that front line, or maybe we did need Zergoff, but now it's too little, too late.
It is certainly gotten a heck of a lot harder for the agency in these next few minutes with the Baron buff still ticking away. The Bisons heading on to the bot side, taking full control of the bot side jungle, playing with a whole lot of confidence with the Baron buff on their backs as Primal. He is still farming up in that top lane. He's trying to get that 2-item spike done. Keys, he's been caught up, he's been charmed, he's been zapped down by Random in his own jungle. Nowhere is safe for this Trundle.
Yeah, a bit of a risky move to walk up there, Keys, but the other day he doesn't actually have a lot going on. It's just sort of 300 gold going over. He was not going to be able to do too much in the defense of this turret as a Trundle anyway, so we just have to make sure that nobody else dies. As Criminal gets some good damage up on this top side of the turret. He has to be a little bit careful, but he doesn't stay too long, as Albi and Random are on their way over. Albi will be healing up from that red buff, but
he's standing and fighting. He's committed to it now. He's got nowhere to run. 4v1 Primal. If there was ever a time for a hero play, now's the time. With Baron, Bisons most like flashes away, slides over the wall to get away from Mo and a flash of his own onto the blast cone. If he can get another Shifting Sands, out goes the Emperor's Divide. A flash from Random. Primal with the thumbs up. He almost gets away, but Gumi tags him, and it was not the great escape today.
He almost managed just to get the perfect wall off, but you see that it's just able to get around it. Gumi can just get around it. There's a little bit of a gap in that wall. I think, Criminal, you've got to commit to one or the other in that situation. He walks up and we know that people are moving up towards him. You have to decide, are you going to stick it out and go for the turret and die, or are you going to try and run? And he tries to go for both, ends up losing the ult and the flash. But the ult probably not going to be too important. It should be up in time for the next fight. Although having said that, Drake's only in 15 seconds. But the flash, that one's pretty important.
Yes, that is going to be tricky for him to navigate right now, as they're looking for Random on the side, but the Victor can kite it out with ease. Now K's around there with a pillar. Suddenly it's 2 versus 2, but there's Albi. He's turned so many of these fights on their head. Can they finish off the Victor? K's finally finds it. Albi though finds the reset, takes Renekton's soul, and starts slicing and dicing down the Trundle with it. Meanwhile, Gooby has found Rickley in the river. Ragnar, left on his own by his support, has the 2v1 to contend with and will run for the hills.
They managed to at least pick up one, but 2 traded back by Bison. Mirror not even there. That's a 4v4, as Criminal is just desperate to get his death cap at this point. Trying to farm up an absolute storm over on the top side of the map. That Drake will be going on over to Bisons, but they'll try and see if they can maybe... there's not really any turrets left to get, so yeah, they'll just go ahead for the Drake and the Drake only, whilst they clear out camps from the bot side of the map.
Primal back to all reliable in the top lane, still working at what looks like the Rablin's death cap second item for him. He is going for the recall now. Hopefully he has it, because they really need some spikes and fast. The agency are running out of options in this game. Bison's now at Dragon Soul Point. They're 5,000 gold ahead. As soon as they got that fight and that Baron, everything has gone right for them.
The game has really started to pick up, and they're just constantly making picks. They're stopping agency from getting the fights that they want. The agency, they want to have this as a severe setup, and maybe even get Renekton in on that front line, but now that might be too late. Even if we get that perfect fight, we see just how quickly Zergoff, Keys, and Richley can go down just because of how strong we find not only the Viego with the Sundra, but now also, you know, Random picking up 2 items, getting a death cap of his own, should be melting through the front line.
Oh, he's committing to the fight, trying to get onto Gooby, but can they quite get to Mascuri? Running interference, Primal again has to use the wall defensively, and godlike goes Albi. Zergoff on the flank, Richie onto Gooby. He has to take down the Aphelios, but he still has Flash. Slice and Dice can't do the work, and on the other side of the fight, Agency are evaporating. They go for the ditch effort, but Bison stampede to another win.
Yeah, just cleave through the squad. You see Kromo, he's looking for that dive through onto Gooby, but he just hasn't got the reach, and that's not the way that the fight needs to go for the Agency. Nobody ends up going down as well. Dragdar, he just gets out alive, but it costs him everything to do it, and Zergoff is buying so much time again in the 1v3 diving on the back here. But that's not what needs to happen in this fight. Admittedly, as the Renekton, you have a little bit less agency over the situation, but it feels like there's an answer for how you want to play the specific fights in this game as the Agency. And Chroma and Co. are just sort of not taken.
They are not entertaining the possibility at all, as they're trying to now secure some vision back in their jungle. Rickley trying to clear out some of these wards, but it's really just about to get done once again. They're just going to go off the reset, come back off the map, and lay them all down once again. The fights are so tough for the Agency to take. They're searching to cancel some recalls, at least maybe slow them down. Maybe there's a Baron angle in the offing, but that's a bit of a desperation play.
Yeah, they want to see if they can force people away, but I don't know how well that's going to go. Ultimately, the situation is that, yeah, as a Deathcap Ludens, you know, Azir, you can dive people. You can try dive the very fed Azir, not Azir, Aphelios. But that's not what you need to do in this game. Similarly, you know, for Zergoff again, you can be diving the backline 1v3, but that's not your job. You just want to
Primal.
Oh, he's just gone.
He's been caught in his own jungle again. There's the vision. All it comes down, and Primal with no defensive options. Only the flash, couldn't even use it. Just gone down, and now the Baron's a foregone conclusion.
It's a deathful comp. We just go as 5 people. Feels like we don't need to go for this one. Keith does not have the flash, no blast cone available either. He's not going to be able to steal this one away, and we've got to the point where, you know, Mern is tanky enough to be able to really just sort of run and drag down and stop him getting any sort of penta wipe in this fight as well. So all that can be done is to go through and clear out that mid wave to make sure that at least for 30 seconds the Baron can't be used.
He will clear that one out, head back to their own side, look for the recalls to make their what could be their last stand in the base. The Bisons looking oh so confident in this game. Looks like they took that first game, that first day, pretty personally. Both the Superliga and the Ultraliga came to play today, not messing around in play-ins now.
Absolutely not AR dominant right now in this game, and they'll be looking to just sort of close it out. In the next push, they could wait, you know, for a minute and bits to go ahead and grab themselves a Cloud Soul, which is going to make ending the game very easy. But they may also want to just use the Baron that they already have, not waste any more time on it, and then they can go ahead and try and crack open some inhibitors.
Now they foray into the jungle once again, taking control of this bot side with the 3-man unit. Albi, Gooby, and Oscar so strong today. Such a locus of success for them in this game as they get onto this bot lane wave. Primal doing the usual up in the top side, trying to push that wave. He's going for the recall now. Zergoff takes a bit of damage. Merwin escorting the mid wave in, and Rickley has a bit of a flank angle. This might have to be the hero play to save all hero plays for Agency to have a chance in this game. TP now behind them. They're going to call for it.
Alrighty. He's looking for that flank alongside Richie. Richie spotted by the minions, but Zergoff wasn't.
Here we go. Split apart. They've just turned back onto the flankers, but Primal slides in, does get charged, can't drop the wall, and he explodes before he gets a chance to do anything. The Bisons, they were ready for the flank. They were not going to be tripped at this late stage, and they will sew up the win versus the Agency. They'll go to 2-2. Their hopes remain barely alive.
Picking up the dub on the day, ready for that flank. You see a great disengage of the